we watched Bringing Up the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to introduce it, like why we watched it and stuff?
Obviously, on this channel we're big Nick Cage fans, and I mean it's just a given now. I want to watch like a Nick Cage movie every week at least. I'm like kind of in the mood at this point of the year,
Wow.
I'm just surprised you've never heard of it. It's Scorsese directing it. Paul Schrader wrote it. It's in a really weird period, 1999, where all three of these guys kind of just like it was such a sleeper hit. It wasn't even a hit. It was
Yeah, it
just
wasn't
such
even
a
like a hit.
sleeper,
Yeah, it
dude.
wasn't even a hit.
And it was like very, I don't know, riding this wave of almost like surreal 90s movies,
Yeah.
But there's like some kind of like, I don't want to say like Lynchian aspect, but there's definitely like some postmodern surrealism worked into there.
Yeah, because this is your second time watching it, right?
It is my second time watching it, yeah. And I mean, yeah, I see this time around there's some unnecessary melodrama, and it can be cheesy at times, but I fucking love it. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I like what they talk about in this. I like Nicolas Cage acting as that character. He's so unhinged, dude. And
he becomes that.
He becomes more and more unhinged.
It's a Nick Cage spiraling movie.
Yeah.
Where this movie has an interesting like kind of structure because it's not necessarily a structure. It's more like an escalation.
It is an escalation. Yeah.
It's an escalation for 2 hours of like him going mad, basically.
Yeah.
Which was kind of we've seen that. I saw that recently with when we watched 8mm. It's like the same thing. It's like he's the spiraling into madness, becoming a tweaker. But it's like a 2 hour movie of that, which it felt kind of long. Like with Scorsese and like Robert Richardson, it's like really.
Oh, well Robert done. Richardson, fucking
Paul Schrader.
He pulls off some crazy shots, dude. Like I love the shot where it's like overhead, following the ambulance as it goes like. Kind of along the street.
Well, there's a shot of when this guy's the like drug dealer is impaled, and it's like a shot from like outside the building, like over the ledge of him like impaled, and I was like, damn, like that's fucking really well done. Yeah. You want to talk about what it's about?
Yeah. So it follows Nick Cage, but he's an ambulance driver. The premise is he's been really down on his luck. He's definitely not in a good place. Stays up all night. Driving around in this ambulance with different partners, and they go around as first responders, which is just a fucked up job in itself. But Nick Cage starts off in just like a fucked up place. He's like down already when this movie starts, because he's like, I haven't saved anyone in like 6 months. You get such a rush from like saving someone's life when like it's on the verge of like they're about to die, but you bring them back, like you feel invincible, and like when you don't do that, you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah,
he feels like a piece of shit, and he's like, I need a break. I need to get out of this job. I need to like do something else. I need to get my life together, but he can't. He just keeps getting pulled back. He starts off with him. He goes to save someone who had a heart attack, and this person is dead, basically. They slowly find a pulse, and they bring him in, but he's kind of like brain dead at that point because he had been dead for too long. Yeah. This is all in New York, by the way, so it's just fucking so claustrophobic.
It's New really York, gross,
nightlife. Yeah, it's gross.
I don't like hospitals. Like, I don't like hospital. Like, they're in the hospital a lot in this movie, and I just, like, hate fucking hospitals. And this is, like, a Paul Schrader hospital.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. He, like, brings them in, there's, like, no room for anyone in the hospital. It's like so fucked up, tweakery.
There's tweakers everywhere.
There's like way too many people in there. It's so cramped.
This is definitely a Paul Schrader street grimy type film. Mm-hmm. That's like it's definitely his style. Mm-hmm. Like that hardcore taxi driver street style.
Yeah, it's like grimy. Mm-hmm. It's grimy. But anyway, the person who had a heart attack, his daughter gets close with Nicolas Cage, Patricia Arquette, and she's kind of the love interest in this, and she kind of is a little bit of like a beacon of hope, like the father like staying alive, and Patricia Arquette are kind of like a beacon of hope for Nicolas Cage, who's like really going down this rabbit hole.
It takes place in 3 days.
Over 3 nights, and fucking one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when Nicolas Cage goes into work on the second night, and he's like, sorry I'm late, boss. Like, guess you gotta fire me.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't fire you. We don't have any drivers. He's like, you said you would fire me. You said if I'm late one more time, you're gonna fire me. He's like, listen, I'll fire you tomorrow. He's like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, can't get fired, dude.
Yeah, but he has 3 different partners, right? The first one is Ving Rhames.
No, John Goodman.
First one's John Goodman. The second night is Ving Rhames, and the third night is Tom Sizemore.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and each partner escalates his sanity like deeper and deeper into like in craziness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking Ving Rhames is like
level-headed.
No, he's like crazy, dude. He's crazy. He's like
John Goodman's level-headed.
John Goodman's like just wants to like get through the night and eat food. That's it.
Yeah.
And then like Ving Rhames like it's like, just a little bit more like crazy with it and like a little bit more like preachery.
Mm-hmm.
And
then, he's like, I believe in God.
Yeah. And then Tom Sizemore is just like absolutely like debauched. It's like crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like he's just and then like fucking Nicolas Cage takes it too far and like Tom Sizemore is like, whoa, dude, you know? But it's just about Nicolas Cage over the course of these 3 nights and the New York street life setting that just like totally holds the picture together.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit repetitive. A lot of the scenes with Patricia Arquette and I think the guy with the dreads, the homeless tweaker guy, like a lot of those scenes kind of got repetitive. And the scenes with Patricia Arquette, I think she's a great actor. I don't know, those scenes like really like I felt like I didn't care about the movie when I was watching those scenes of her talking about him, like, oh, my dad, blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of seemed like those scenes repeated and we kind of just got a more intense version or whatever. And there was like a love story. I did not care. Mm-hmm. And the same with the tweaker black dude with the dreads.
Noel or something?
Yeah, like it wasn't, those parts felt kind of melodramatic and then, I don't know, they got repetitive. Yeah. The best parts are the parts where he's like in the ambulance, going to the scene, you know?
Mm-hmm. But really he needs something to like pull him away from that, right? Like because it's the dichotomy between like what's driving him crazy and then like what's keeping him grounded a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like those grounded moments should be like really interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you felt like they kind of were.
I just didn't care. I didn't care about his love story with Patricia Arquette in it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like for us, the Scorsese standard, this was underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion. Obviously, it hasn't like 1999, you know? The elements haven't aged so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like well done and well shot and just like put together. And I kind of respect it was just like pretty long for it's like 40-minute acts, you know, of like kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it does get repetitive because it is like following someone on their job and like he's so mopey too. Like the writing's really fucking good. I mean, it's Paul Schrader. When Paul Schrader's mopey, it's gonna be like really good writing and dialogue. But
yeah, being an ambulance driver is like really it's a just job, you know. It's like a really selfless job to do. I'm not I just don't like fucking ambulance hospital type.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but I like the street element a lot of this movie. And obviously there's an overlap, which is like, ooh.
Yeah.
This is like how we said about Animal Kingdom. Like this movie made me feel like gross watching it.
Yeah, I get that. And like when the drugs are involved and stuff like that, just all the deaths, like it's so gruesome and just like hopeless. It feels like, you know.
Yeah.
You never really feel like hope in the movie. Even at the end, you're like kind of stupid. I don't know.
I don't even remember what happens in the end.
He saves the drug dealer, but then when he's at the hospital and the drug dealer's like, "You saved my life," he's like, "I know." And then he goes into the guy who he saved at the very beginning, the father, Patricia Arquette.
Oh yeah, unplugs.
He unplugs him. Yeah. He brings like, you know, pads on his body in so that he can like basically kill him without setting off the alarms. You know.
Mm.
He kind of like lets him go because he realizes it's like...
Yeah, the guy wanted to die.
Yeah, like keeping him alive was just like too fucked when the guy was like literally like going into like epileptic shock like every fucking 10 minutes, you know? Like it's just fucked.
Yeah, that's sad.
But it's funny that the like release for him, it's like doesn't end up being like saving someone or like doing that. He just wants to sleep. Like he can't fucking sleep because he's just like haunted by everything. So he like never is getting like good rest. And then at the very, very, very end, he like gets into her bed and like falls asleep. So I get that.
Patricia Arquette and Nick Cage were boyfriend and girlfriend, I think.
Yeah, were they married at one point?
I don't know if they actually got married, but I know they were together.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage was like a piece of shit to one of the actors on Vampire's Kiss because he wanted Patricia Arquette to play that role, but then he didn't give her the role, so he was like pissed off.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Nick Cage does a good job. Like he's just good at playing kind of that crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that shit we always see.
He was crazy. He was like crazy in this. He's like starts doing all the drugs in the ambulance at the very end. He's like,
oh yeah, that was.
He's
cool.
like, don't go to it. Don't go to the call.
Ambulance.
Yeah, I personally.
By Martin Scorsese.
I guess it's Martin Scorsese's Ambulance.
Yeah.
Or is it Michael Bay's Bringing Out the Dead?
No, it's Martin Scorsese's Ambulance. I like Ambulance more. Sorry to say.
Yeah,
I know it's kind of weird to say that, but
I think this is a slept on Scorsese film, though. I think this is a slept on. I think people don't see this, and I think some people might really, really enjoy this.
People don't people don't talk about it like at all.
No, yeah. It's like kind of like After Hours. Like kind of looked over it a little bit.
Yeah, like one thumb up, one thumb down.
I give it one thumb up, 2 thumbs up maybe.
You're kind of like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Bringing Out the Dead, Martin Scorsese. Have you guys seen it? Not a lot of people talk about it, but let us know.
Check it out. Now fuck off.